Have you ever loved somebody so much it makes you cry? Have you ever needed something so bad you can't sleep at night? Have you ever tried to find the words but they don't come out right? Have you ever? Have you ever? Good morning. Good afternoon, as a matter of fact. It's already noontime here. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope that song was "Have You Ever" by Brandy. Back in the day, I had a little crush on her. She's I think like 14 years younger than me, but still, she's a beautiful spirit, and I always had somewhat of an attraction to her. That's what I wanted to talk to you all about. Have you ever had somebody like that in your life that maybe they didn't want you, or maybe you couldn't live with them, you know? It works both ways sometimes. There's a couple of people in my life, women, that I couldn't bring myself to ever being with them for a long term, because for whatever reason, maybe they just didn't feel like they wanted to change certain things about them, and they didn't bring the healing that they needed into their life. So I just had to let it go, or they just plain didn't want me. And you know, that happens to all of us one time or another in our lifetime. I can earnestly say it only happened one time with me, but there were 3 different women that I discovered that I could not be with no matter what, because they did not want to change anything about themselves, even though they needed to, but they just didn't want to do it. And so, you know, you have both kind of situations in your life, and it happens, you know. But you learn to cope and deal with that. I know, you know, I'm talking about my personal experience here, but I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this out there. There are people that just, they want to be themselves and they want to do them, and they don't feel like anything's wrong with them, and everybody can see that there is something wrong with them, but they don't want to change it because they don't feel like anything's wrong with them. And so they go through life, person after person, whether it be a man or a woman, and they go through all these people, and it still leads them back to the same old, because they don't want to do the healing that it takes to get themselves in the position of actually showing love and being loved by other people. And when you have that in your life, then you don't want to have anything back to the way it used to be. You just don't want that to happen. But until you go through that healing and actually embrace it and become it, you'll never know, and you'll just continually have the same old relationships over and over and over and over again. And maybe you just don't want to have anybody in your life. That's okay too. I mean, that's your decision. You could have whatever you want, but the best thing to do is not lie about it, knowing you don't want a relationship, but you lie and say you do, and you deceive everybody, and you just keep deceiving and deceiving and deceiving, you're only hurting yourself. You are hurting yourself, not everybody else. You might hurt that other person temporarily, but in the end, you are hurting yourself. And I have said this once before. If you're younger, you may wake up one day and you're my age and you wish to have all that time back, and you know what? It's not going to come back. And then you don't have a choice but to grow old by yourself, all alone. And that's no kind of way to live, to even want to be. You know, my sister, my younger sister, she's never been married before, and she's already 50. She'll be 51 in March. And you know, at one point in time, she found this urgency to have somebody, and now she just doesn't even feel that way anymore. But the older that she becomes, I'm sure she's going to be saddened that she never found somebody to grow old with, because it's going to be hard for her in her older years to live out the rest of her life never really knowing what it was like to have anybody. And who wants to become the old maid? I remember that card game when I was younger, and anybody and everybody that got the old maid card was like, I don't want that card. And they would try to trade it away to people, and you know, sometimes you can and sometimes you can't, but nobody I mean, even if it's a dude, you know, they don't want to become the old maid, the old miser, whatever. They don't want to become that. Remain a hermit the rest of your life, live in a cave. I mean, whatever. You know, you want to have somebody that is your equal, and you grow old together and come in unison with each other, and you know, do things for each other. I mean, that's a loving relationship. You don't want to be an old person, like 80 years old, and you're living in a house by yourself to the point where you can't even take care of yourself anymore, and then you have to go to hospice or something like that and have somebody spoon feed you or whatever like that, you know, that you don't even know. I remember a video quite a few years ago I was watching where a man and his wife were like, I think he was like 85 and his wife was like 81, and she was passing away and he was in the hospital and he was crying, but he told her that he loved her that much, and she actually died holding his hand. And it was really a sad story, and you know, I don't know anybody that could watch that video and not shed a tear, because it was really a heart-staking video. But he vowed his love to her even then, and you know, it was really a sad story in a video. But you know, people are like that. They don't want to lose the love of their life, and not know what it was like to maybe grow old with that person. So I just wanted to say that, like I said, I you know, back in about 1990, I guess it was, Brandy was starting to sing, and that she has a beautiful voice, and she's a beautiful woman, you know. And I always thought about that, you know, what if I was you know, a little bit younger and, you know, in that scene at that time, You know, would she have gone for me or whatever? I think she probably would have. You know, if I was like 8, 9 years younger, and, you know, I think she would have. But, you know, who knows? But any case, yeah, I just wanted to come out here and pretty much ask that. Have you ever loved someone so much it made you cry? Have you ever needed something so bad you couldn't sleep at night? Have you ever tried to find the words but they didn't come out right? Have you ever? That's the question. Anyways, I want you to know that I love you. I love you so very, very much. Even if you're an enemy, I still love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Love yourself, love God. By all means, love each other, people. Until the next time, love, peace, and soul.